Alright. We'll save, go to sleep, and be happy with our progress. We didn't use our mana, but oh well. Very curious on how good that spell is. If it's really good, then it might be a little silly. But let's be fair. In the base game, there are really powerful guns and explosives that you can almost casually find sometimes. Definite problem solvers. Hell, that's what the name... Like, it's one of the guns, that's what I named. Would break down metal doors. Even destroy walls in most cases. Yeah, we're still feeling awful, but we can start working that out. We can fix that. It'd be nighttime. Yeah, it's just what it is. Okay. So that's that. Reload item. Yeah. Okay, so I got more water. Is that what we're saying? Yes, we're good on water. We've got a bunch of different chocolate bars and... Yeah. Alright, we're fine. Let's get our music going. So with this, what I should do is drop off this smartphone, grab a new one. Turn that thing on. We're good. For good measure, we'll just cast one spell of this. Yeah, see right there. 194 experience points for just one cast instead of a 93 or something like that. Big difference on focus. But that's for spells. Spells work a little differently than general skills. Wait a minute, did I never go here? No. No way. Okay. I don't remember if I made a clear way through the city or not yet. And while I am smaller and decently armored, I just don't want to deal with it right now. So let's head over here, right? Interrupts. Try and head. Actually, I get. Well, no, I'll just leave it on. Yeah. Nope. Nope. No. Also no. Okay. Sure. Good to know the chickens are still flourishing out here. Oh, I forgot how to do this already. W, right? Yeah. Okay. My brain, I just had a brain fart there. I mean, drive around the thing? Yeah. Actually, let's get some basic water since we're here. Oh, that's better than nothing. Just hopefully I remembered not to drink it. That's how the first Grey Earl died. Drank a lot of bad water. Spearcat Hunter. This undead cougar's eyes ooze with dark, oily fluid, and its fur is torn, revealing deep, festering wounds. Its claws and teeth are unnaturally long, and sharpened into dangerous looking spikes. Makes for good travel. I feel like I'd be fine fighting this thing. Fatally dangerous. I think it's gonna say that about a lot of things. You know what? A good barometer for seeing how dangerous something's going to be. See how much damage they can take. It's not perfect, but it does okay. Thing's pretty fast. Much faster than I am. Alright, so we have a fireball at it. How's it doing? It's about half its health. So it's not... It can probably do a lot of damage, but it's not something I can worry about too much. Oh, it's even on fire, and then it... I think it's... No, it's not dead yet. Alright. I even get that. Alright, so, yeah. How much experience is it worth? 7407. And... Oh, 70... That's actually... That's a lot. For some of these mobs, that's a lot of experience. Stop driving. For good measure, just crush it. And grab its blood essence, because... it's necessary. Alright, Oh, okay, so I have been in there. Maybe I missed some dinars. There might be some loot I missed as well. Alright, so... +1. I think that's about the only thing I'm going to care about. That's just... yeah, cobalt bits. Or goblin bits. Turn off headlights. And stop driving. I'll grab the spear. While I'm driving around, I'd rather you just use a wand. It's just convenient. Alright, you know what? Let's make this plus dinar. There's a gummy bear. It's not hostile. So, we're good. We're good. I wonder if I was thorough in my search before. Hey, look at that goofy grid. Kind of think of Bubbles a little bit. Animal Companion, one of my players, one of my games. It's a big old guy. Super friendly ape creature, calls himself a human. Smart enough to talk. Personally, I find that pretty fun. The player actually liked Bubbles so much that just liked it more than his own character. And I thought that was pretty funny. Oops. Whoa. Holy snap. Okay. 174? Okay. Alright. Some spells are going to be pretty strong. Just like some melee weapons or guns. But that's yeah. That's pretty good right there. Can I just smash a wall down? No. Holy crap. 84. Yeah, that's different. I'll see how I feel about using that spell later. I don't know if that's too strong. I mean, I did specialize in a school of magic, right? That took a lot to get to there. Right now I'm just rationalizing, like, is it too much? Because you basically get that for free just for being a force mage. You just signed a pamphlet and you're like, I do double damage now. I'm also faster. One of the best things you can get in the game. Granted, that's also why some people don't like magicalism. The little boost of power you can get from become a what's essentially an arc magi. I get it to some extent. But you also should never pick up and use, you know, mutagens or bionics. They're part of the game, naturally, but they're also very powerful. Some of them are, anyways. You get enough of them, you're basically unstoppable. Alright, let's not go in the water. As much as that could be fun. Try that again. Let's save the game, because those, I don't know if they messed with the robots in that place at all. If they did, then I am dead. Well, if they messed with it in a bad way. Let me reiterate. Keep going. I'm so glad I finally got done the effigy, though. We're normal sized. Oh, this is so nice. Yeah, just drive. Don't know if the crater's radioactive. I avoided it last time, from what I understand. And if they were hostile, I'd probably be already dead. Stop. Stop driving. Of course, I'm also carrying a light source. I will save the game again. I will unabashedly cheat to get away from here if they are hostile. For no freaking reason. There's the upcycled turrets. They can't see me, but we're about to find out how hostile they are. They're not supposed to be. Can I just jump up here? Alright, probably not the greatest idea to go up there anyways. So just spikes with pits with spikes? Yeah, I guess that would be a good defense. And then a bunch of turrets. I mean, I guess is a way to look. Rubix PA, yeah, new gun. Oh, I can't go in there, can I? Can. Let me just look through your stuff. Got some armor. Telescopic eyes? I don't know why I'm able to just walk in here, but I'll take it. External climate control kit. That might be useful. Once again, because I am used to saving the game over and over again. Like, these NPCs really do make me nervous. Just, I feel like they're so buggy. Alright, Rubik. Fine, and you still ain't dead. What brings ye around Rubik's neck of woods? Let's look at him real quick. Sure. Size of stats. Really intelligent. Good strength. Alright. Let's see what you got to trade. Telescopic eyes might be nice. That's what? A bonus to... Fixes any vision problems and allows for an increased vision range akin to binoculars. So I don't need binoculars, I guess. That might stop my topographage nausea. If I said that right. Nah, most of those aren't necessary. Cool. Making an air conditioner in the car would be nice. A little late, but not bad. This is what we're looking for. Cataphract armor. Its encumbrance isn't bad. How much does it cover? Its coverage is pretty good. Sorry for moving the mic a little bit. I need to adjust. Oof. I'm sitting there streaming and I've got all my stuff on me, like wallets and keys and stuff. Not even necessary, but it's what I do. Just in case I have to get up and move. Run around. Encumbrance for the legs are pretty heavy. Some encumbrance for the head. It is protective. Huh. Alright, so we need those two things. That's what we want. Anything else that could be useful? It's a collection of hand soldered wires leading to plugs that look like a exotic microcontroller. The plugs look like they could be attached to you, assuming you have an SNI, a standard neurobionic interface. Okay. A little curious about the external climate control. Otherwise, not really caring about some of these. I think we got something similar to a torch. I guess he's allowing me to buy it. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Knowing how radiated we are would be nice to just cover that base. Shame he doesn't have much else. What can we sell? Holy crap, some of these things sell for a lot. Okay. Have some aluminum cans. Actually, we might need them for something. Oh, he doesn't understand how important Jedi cloaks are. Oh. Things I never will use. Sure. I mean, I don't really care about this one. So that's worth money. Some plates we don't need to be carrying around. I just picked them up and left it in my pocket. Blood analysis. I think I might keep that one. What else can we toss? Oh, he doesn't care for what cashed on cards? Shame. Shame. Oh, that's worth money. I don't see myself using heat retention cream. So that'll dose it down some. Okay. What about like aspirins? Oh, okay, so they need basic stuff. Not bad, not bad. Oh, that's worth money. Oh yeah, that's part of the heat retention cream. So what do we not need? Turns out vitamins are actually kind of important. Do. Oh my god, that's worth a lot of money. Hot damn. Taylor's kit. This guy understands enchanted items. Kind of. Have a magic bat. Ooh, essence is worth money for him, huh? Aw. He's the one to buy my scaly patches? Rude. Alright, I don't really need much more to trade to him. Chocolate bars. You don't say. I'm fine with this trade. Yep. Alright. I ask him, what do you have for trade? With a far less booming voice, but still booming. 6'7" elephant man leering over this cyborg. Rubik is like, you're not as tall as before. Got better. Alright. So, some of this tech looks weird. See a bunch of blueprints. Can you tell me more about these? A real monger's eye, ye be. Them's a metal and many a year of trials. Us and have clashing with the enemy. Oh man, I forgot how bad this was for long, and then or the turns us and out some vestments for the job. Keeps a walker walking longer, and I'm kin. This keeps some of the parsing in around, but ye be tasked to make the vestment with the grease of your own brow. Okay, makes your armor good. This and that, and kin be made for a fine wander, beladen with the goods of the hunt, you see. By which I'm to say 'tis well suited to carry all ye can rest from cold arms of the dead lands, without troubling your gait, nor making it easy for the cold clutch of scrambling arm. Being it is as tough as a target's nut, I'd raz. How do I make it myself? As simple as it comes to a wobble. Our vestment be off made of fine clothes and hides of the land, and our jabber tears the stuff alight apart here and there when us in travel. For as some can be saved if care be taken, but there be no case to store nigh enough of that, or this, that in our Minnook makers run as hot as a sunstone. No spit and taste for which we don't use ourselves. Right. Why are your lockers full of medieval gear? That'd be a right welcher, eh? Before us and where we turn to this land, the preface were a half-score century by the reckoning, landed us in the midst of a war turned wrong, and for us as the dead had come back in. By the butcher's block, not by the unusual case, really. The enemy makes us fight. By and by we come in, and by then the killing fields were so plump and ready to harvest the bronze. That ain't no steel of the lake, but this a good dross metal for holding off a nibbling mouth. So we kept a few of our vestments and stickers to trade. You know what? Go back to this. Oh, why do I have to make it myself? Yep. Okay. Yeah, alright. So I said that. Was he able to install stuff? What do you do here? Some tech looks weird. Not to me, it don't. We ain't tasked from around here, though. Looks fine and fine to you, Reyes? Earl stares at him intently. Is this thing supposed to be able to communicate? Not from around here. The aliens or something. I think we already did this. Yeah. We don't know the difference between other lands and other worlds. We've done this. Okay. Mostly, mate. Not worth killing the willies in it. I keep what's Rubik, but the rest is all solid. What? I mean, really? It seems like you're being hard to understand on purpose. What are the willies? Oh, sure, it'd be bagged in a coffer and all that. That is to say, this does get a wipe a guinea to see the perplexion upon a visage, and I'm can. Asterisk. You're pretty sure you hear a faint chuckle in a metallic voice. What I mean is that for my body were to be made of bone, the tool we've been using to travel to and fro, it rips apart the meat and leaves a right mess. Oh, so your brain was left normal, I'm guessing, but that does get affected? Question mark. A bit can come along for the right fun, but too much on a time. And earlier Rubik felt a spot of the willies. And this would not be for the furrier's hat or to try it again. Sure. Yeah, we already saw this. What drove you out? Yeah. I don't understand a word you're saying. Some kind of robot. That's the one. Robot was cert for that a hold. He stops for a moment as if thinking, an automate? Not this and be a flesh and blood as it be. A EB, case in a shell of metal and wire. Not so much flesh as it were. And wire and mixed in afloat with the flesh. All as one kinnet. Sure. I don't know. I don't have any idea what you mean. You're some sort of kind of robot? You're also flesh and blood? Yeah, that beats the soggy leaves and I'm kin, a bit of both. But Rubik was once as a kin to UB. Trying to... Yeah. Just keep going. I mean, we're doomed. We've already seen this conversation. Alright, so... You wanted to ask me some questions earlier, and I think I was rude about it. What did you want to ask? Thank you. Oh. I remember being rude about it. When you and Rubik first met, he talks in third person, how long it been since the mess began? I tell him. Lovely. Business going to be a pair. That's a track. I mean, they'll be right happy. This is their first jump, and it's a flapping duck. Who's Benzie? Them's and other lounder from trice jumps and change wide as the sky. They got happily on summit for the tracking. You can? No, I don't really follow that. They planned out the last jump like an apprentice to the old sixth den. Oh, like a navigator. Sure, and that is a fine enough word, and I'm can. This was a especially good jump. Us gotta leave old world before it right torn to the gums, and ye can find nice twitchy one on the other side. Your deadland be brand shiny. Alright, so you mean we have a nice dead fleshy world for you to visit? You can it rightly. This can be nice and all over that last jump by heads. Other lands be facilities and mobbins. Also get fine changes on that. Wait, if I'm following right, you're from a world that this happened before and you escaped to our world? Just so I, again and again, this has seen it too many times. You know what's going on? What caused all this? Fixer to wax religious, eh? Rubix pause for a while, then they start talking again. They're slow and voicing slow and more serious than usual. This and can't tell you, of course you can't. Rightly. But those who have a bottle of uncork that what fits it, they yark about the anime. Most folks got that story, like that, their whole hearth tales and I'm kin. Bad way. From tales old, come back. Old Rubik don't know much about that. But something makes them bodies walk and moan. The tires, I tell you, it's the melting tires from cars. It don't seem like something from the way of our kin. How it gets in, well, that'd be for anyone to guess. It can come the way we came, wibbling and wobbling, but it don't always. How to be the end for your dead land, Rubik can't say for ye. Wait, it can come like you did. Did you bring this here? No, blustering clouds, no. His voice comes haltingly, as if they were picking their words with an unusual care for clarity. We have done a few things what Rubik don't like to pickle on, to think about, but never that. We came after the fall, long after, always. Ah, sounds like a little guilty. Is it always like this? What's going to happen to us? It kind of feels like them. Now I think about it, they bring the disease and they just harvest what's after. Is it always like this? What's going to happen to us? Just be a dead land, can it? Spend a farthing at the pastor's house to raz? But what's left for ye? The dead'll be in the fields, the forests, and all them around them greens and brown. Anything that walks, they'll salt and follow. And most will rise up and rejoin. From what don't, the enemy twists and turns well. Every dead land's the same. Eve turns in twain. But come as they may, this land be dead. Though I can, you've quite a few turns in twain to get go yet. And after reading that, it looks like everyone left. That sounds about right. What happens to the whole world dies? Could it be spread to other worlds from here? I mean, it kind of makes sense. Spread eye through the wibbles, but we ain't kin now. After the green and brown turns to black, gray and black, so to speak, Rubik be long gone. On a moment, we folk have sent back a lover's robe or so to the deadlands with left, but nary have returned. And I'm kin there be only one course from there. Traveling off-world's definitely an option. Or getting to the ISS. Maybe stepping from there. There's a few options. Sounds like a secure base with a shaped parameter could at least last a long time. Maybe forever. Yeah. I haven't seen many zombies underground. You know what? Yeah. If ye be champed to try, this and won't stop ye. Right so, Rubik sell you the right pieces, you might do so. Okay. I have to go back to that cycle again. That's hopeless talk. Kill plenty of zombies. I could beat this enemy too. Fine and fine. Rubik clearing for you. You be standing your Gary trick of a new bind himself. Yeah, let's just go back to the cycle again, see what his other conversational things say. Alright, so we'll do this one. Traveling to off-world is definitely an option. Be champ to try, this one will stop thee. Uh-huh. Huh. Well, that was about the most we can learn about this. So, what do you do then? How do you get out? And how do I do that? Oh, us can wobble as long as needs, sends a scrap back, brings in the foods, and shakes off a willy or three. Can it? No good for you. It won't take too much meat and bone. Wait, I thought you were bone and flesh and bone on all that metal. Not mostly, mate. Not worse than the, yeah. Yeah, I've seen most of this. Some kind of robot. I'm gonna speak English or English. Yep. I'm just cycling through this. I think I still have to do the anesthetic thing to get robotic stuff from him. I just bought some things from him in general. So I think we're done. Oh, tell me about Old Upper Landing. What was your home like? Rubik becomes silent, distant for a moment. Home. It were a long time, can it? You're not too far. I don't think I want to talk about it. Too much metal twixt now and then. We gotta get some friendship points with him. No, I'm too busy to answer all your questions. Yeah. Wait, sure is trying us or not the nor gonna do it. That's not a question, that's a statement. Yeah, whatever. Rude. Alright, we get out of here. We got new armor. Cool. Wait, we're carrying it, right? Yeah. It's not a helmet. Actually. Exactly, it's not a helmet. I need to get a freaking helmet. Okay. Yeah, it's a port fit as well. Its encumbrances. Kind of nutty. 43 bucks. Why do I have a debt that's higher than that amount? Is it charging income tax? Alright, what to sell them? Yeah, I'll sell them a batch of vitamins. There we go. I know I go through vitamins a lot, but... Alright. I can always find more as long as I go to a different place. The reason why I'm able to see those things through the wall is because I have electroreceptors. If something shocks me, I would get kind of messed up pretty bad. Where's my car? Okay. But I am wearing lightning bracers, so that kind of helps. We're gonna... I don't necessarily have way too much money on me now. I'm a little curious of what's in the wizard shop. We're already out and about. Let's go there. You can watch our focus skyrocket down. Actually, it's not as fast as I thought it was going to be. As we're heading over there. I was actually thinking of another concept for a campaign. Kind of need to go through the ones I've already gone through, right? First, before I start mentioning other ones. But I thought about a campaign where people, for my current players, they play two classes at once, like a Galstat kind of campaign, but their stats are normal. They're like ordinary people almost. So what makes their character is almost entirely their build. So normal characters like a rogue can actually shine. Is they don't really rely on their stats to do damage. I mean, it helps without question, but they just roll on in and they use sneak attack, and it's just dice damage. Or like a rogue kineticist would just do, you know, kinetic damage with a rogue sneak attack as well, as long as they were sneaky enough. Like there are some really strong builds you can do, but you'll still be ordinary. More or less. This floor is very different. Neat. Okay. Let's talk to this fella. Does he have an afro? He's got an afro. I'm pretty sure that is, because it's the only hairstyle that sticks through some clothes. Freaking hood. Alright. Bring me tales and we can trade. Now, you have any stories for me? Excellent. This is still a weird discussion tree. What are you doing here? That was it? Okay. Let's trade. Alright. So he's got Braille. Broadsword +2, which is faster than a longsword. This one hits pretty hard. Oh god, I thought the katana was not going to be a ninjutsu weapon. I thought that would have been funny. Teapot! Ooh! And they're 4,000 gold each. Oh wow. Oh, if they're chocolate. A very small metal teapot. Tea time would be complete without one. That's new. Okay. It is expensive. Pretty good weapon too. Alright. Disposable weapons, blah blah. I'm guessing those are non-rechargeable. Is what the goal is. Heat cube. I actually kind of like those. You can heat up food with it and whatnot. And they're not as heavy as they used to be. Or at least I think they were. That's kind of neat. So they recharge over time. I think. Some of these things do, for sure. Like the Killer's Kit regenerates thread. These could be neat. Shame you can't wear more than one layer. Yeah, only one item can be worn on this clothing layer. So they used to have rings for a little bit there, stackable, which it did get kind of stupid. Wizardry would be nice. If I can mutate to get a better mana pool, naturally, I won't be needing the wizardry as much. Frost armor. Meh. That's new. Lesser defense. Actually, I wouldn't mind a defense item. That would actually increase my defense value against blasts and whatnot. This thing I keep looking at right here. I kind of want this. It's not 100% coverage, but god damn, it's pretty good. Covers most of the body. He won't remove it, so I'll have to find a way to get it. Okay, so I have credit with him somehow. Let's see what else is here. Not the good version of the Ring of Protection. There's a very high class speed ring, which is one of my problems right now. Ring of Wizardry, intelligence to boost that. So the protection would be better than what I'm wearing. Another place to get rings pretty well is a goblin camp. Sometimes they have some really good stuff. I don't really have money. I wouldn't mind getting a lesser one for now. Wait a minute. Let's see the price difference. Yeah, it's dynamic. It's drastic. So the only thing he's going to trade for, aside from the structural analyzer, is apparently chocolate. It's actually worth some. Yeah, anything I need to trade to him is going to be pretty expensive. Dinars? I don't think I have enough. Actually, I do. Is it worth it, though? I kind of feel like it is. Yeah, this might be worth it. Only got one bracer. It's lightning, but this one will help me protect against damage somewhat. So let's wear that bracer of laser defense. Make sure it changes sides, and bam. It is a little bit of arm encumbrance, but this will be balanced out once I fix the Cataphrax armor. Hopefully I can. That's different looking. Look at that. Let's see if that actually applies to making, for example... That's not what I was looking for, I guess. Hammer axe? Did I not? I must have learned new recipes. Ooh, I didn't notice that. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. So what's the difference? Massive damage. It's a little slower. More accurate. Doesn't get any more moves, but it hits a lot harder. And the accuracy is a nice boost. So, what about the Biospear? Is there improved Biospear? Huh. Alright. So that's a Saccharnom thing. No better Biospear. Okay. As part of enchanted items. Flamberge. Oh! That's a ninjutsu weapon. And it's a magic focus. Nifty. It can check weather information? What? That doesn't make way too much sense. That requires an Inimus rune, probably. No. Okay. Greater Staff Magi. I've considered it. Toolbar. That's a cool item. Just basically a shotgun fist weapon. I believe Zeltz wanted to get that for one of his friends in game. I think that was the goal. Luminous Hammer. Makes reach attacks. It's slow as all hell. Whoa. Does sweep attack, wide attack, block somewhat. It hits really, really hard. I don't even know if that's necessary anymore. I can hit as hard as a truck, basically. Let's see what the armor... Yeah, so I can make scale armor. But it's a little late now. I mean, that would be the improvement to what I'm wearing, probably. Or going to wear. Okay. Anyways, let's see what these people have. Thank you to everyone who supported me through the streams and videos. My awesome wife, my awesome moderator, along with my subscribers on Twitch. And a huge thank you to those who simply watch the videos and just lurk during the streams. I also want to thank my Patreon support. Thank you, Zayla Darkwater. If you liked the video, please follow the channel and share the video. Have a good day.